here at the courthouse. About to drop it off, file it for ShaMay, Ciera, and everybody who needs justice. Howie, everybody that I don't know if the door is gonna open. Is this door open? Hi guys, I just want to file this. Yeah, just dropped off at a Dropbox. That's what Mom said.
There's the Dropbox right there, but just before you do that, do you have your address on there? Address and phone number?
Yeah, address is on here.
Maybe put it on the front, just and put a phone number as well.
And a phone number?
Yeah, phone number, probably email. But, email or
Good way that they can contact you if there's any issues.
Okay.
And I have to say, you're not allowed to record inside the courthouse.
Oh, my bad. My mom just wanted me to show that I was filing it, but I was...
Okay, people, I'm in the kitchen. It is February 17th. Sorry, April 17th, 2020. I'm going to leave this in the background because they're talking about large numbers of old people dying in old folks' homes. Like, one place had like 30 of them hidden away. Right? You know, they're not, the old people are dying and they're not phoning the family. Right? The family is making appointments to do video conferencing, and that's when they're being told that their loved one died. They're not wanting to let them into the care facility to identify the body. They have to fight for it, people. They've got drones running around in 22 states now, right, that are being operated by the police to spy on people and, you know, put out an audio, you know, go back into your house, no social distancing, da-da-da-da. They've got these drones going through alleys, going through people's backyards, looking for people that are congregating in their backyard, people. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's out of control. And, like, is anyone doing any autopsies on all these bodies? Like, are they just assuming that they died from the coronavirus? Are their organs being harvested en masse and put in a fucking freezer so it can go into McDonald's food chain? I'm not saying McDonald's food chain, but some major food chain that, you know, is going to be selling you a beef patty mixed in with a supplement that was cheap. You know, people are already talking about McDonald's freaking using that kind of stuff in their food. You know, you gotta stop and ask yourself, people. People are so corrupt these days. I gotta turn this down.
Big things that is proven to be an issue there is something that we've seen in South Dakota this week, and that's those massive processing plants.
Yeah, massive processing plants for like pork and beef and, well, yeah, chicken and all that. Some of them are shutting down permanently. I don't know why, but I guess they can't afford to keep running even on a, you know, just stop running for even on a temporary basis. So some of these processing plants that have been around for years are like going bankrupt. You know, they're telling you the food supply right now is okay so far, as long as you don't hoard buy, right? You know, right? You can go and buy what you need for 2 weeks, but you're not allowed to go in there and stock up on anything, right? Right? As they're, you know, telling you this and telling you that, you know, they're not, the farmers are slaughtering their herds, right? Because they have no way of processing it, and before they'll donate it to the people, they'll just slaughter them so that they can get their insurance money, right? You know, like, and this drone thing, like, what right does the cops have, or any fucking, you know, because it's in partnership with the city, right? City bylaws, in partnership with the cops, right? You know, it's the city that allows it to happen, right? The cops fucking, you know, they're rolling out the drones to be snooping around in people's backyards to see if they're having a potato salad and hot dogs, right? For a little birthday party, for people that just want to feel normal, right? You know what I mean? Nobody's sick, right? They're just maybe got a little runny nose like me, and you know, we're being told that pretty soon they're gonna start knocking on your door, and if you got like fucking, if you're sick, they're gonna be hauling your ass off out of the door. They're not even gonna give you a chance to grab some clothes, and they're gonna put you in some fucking vehicle and put you in quarantine somewhere. And right? And then I guess if you die, they're not gonna phone your family members. You're gonna have to phone and find out how mom is, right? And then that's when you'll find out that your mother died 2 weeks ago. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's out of control. The world is completely out of control. So I'm listening to this and I'm like, today I'm having a bad day. You know, because yes, I'm happy Tisha dropped off that notice of claim for me. She did a little video, not very much, because I told her just document it, right? Just to be sure, right? Because everything is so out of control. It's not like you can trust people these days, right? It's kind of hard to establish trust at social distancing when everybody wants to attack each other, but our politicians are telling us to be nice. Just be kind and be nice, and we'll get through it. As they're adding in more and more and more restrictions with that cock tease that they're going to reopen something. They're not sure what they're going to reopen or how they're going to reopen. And all I can think of is that we're dealing with power mongers. Power mongers, you know, like, you know, power mongers. They monger with power, people. These people get off on the power that they have right now to control billions of people. And it's obvious that this coronavirus is being targeted to certain groups, right? It's being said blacks and Latinos, I would assume in the inner cities, simply because through manufactured poverty, they have been forced to live in, you know, high density populations with limited resources to, you know, healthy food, that kind of stuff, right? They're crowded in with their living conditions. Many are homeless with thousands and thousands on the street, right? So yeah, you would expect a level of, I guess, disease or a virus that just seems to pop up out of fucking nowhere like it fell out of the sky, people. For all these years that they've been doing chemtrails, you have to really stop and ask yourself, how the hell did this virus get way up in the freaking interior of British Columbia, Canada, when very few people go up there and it's like the tundra? But yet, all of a sudden, you've got cases popping up fucking there. Why? Where did it come from? What, somebody flew in? Oh, yeah, okay. More like maybe it dropped in off the fucking, out of the sky, people, okay? It's too fast, too rampant, too widespread for it to be a coincidence, okay? And not only that, but prior to this all happening, there was 401, or I don't know what the code was for it, but they had done some little exercise that was centered around what we're going through, and then 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, whatever, after they did their little exercise, you know, with their little black helicopters and all that kind of stuff, right? All of a sudden, they took their little exercise and they applied it to the real world, and they're like literally making people fucking psychotic, okay? They are bringing in mass paranoia as they're making people fucking psychotic because they're power mongers, right? And you've got pockets of old people dying en masse. I've told you why yesterday, people, right? They have to clear out the fucking old folks' homes, right? For the best, you know, that they can to reap the wealth that's sitting there, right? You know, because the economy is just no good. It hasn't been good for years. You know, we know that the U.S. government has been working in a deficit for a long time. Every government's working in a fucking deficit. We know that the government itself, in terms of the federal governments, right, and provincials and states, they don't want to be paying out all these pension plans, all these superannuation life insurance. Well, they have to pay the life insurance policies, right? But they don't want to pay out pension plans for you years and years and years and years and years for an old person to be sitting up in some hospital bed or some bed in some old folks home sucking up resources, right? They don't. They'd rather have them gone and clear it out and then start targeting the ones that are still living in their homes, right? They've got the system in place. I've already showed you how through Uncle John and what he showed us in terms of the people that were in that care facility that weren't allowed to leave. It just wasn't Uncle John who wasn't allowed to leave people. There was other people in there being forced to sell their houses to pay for their fucking care while they were sitting up in a temporary care ward to be moved into these old folks' homes that are like fucking death traps, right? And now they're fucking with people's heads. You can't go in. You might get it. You might take it home to your family. And if you take it home to your family, well, guess what? We're going to bring in a new rule where we can come in and grab you by your scuff and haul your ass out, right? And we'll tell your family that we'll call them later, and they never fucking call. Just kind of like with what happened to Ciera. Go home, don't worry. Yeah, you'll see her. We promise. We got backup here, so if you don't fucking listen, it could get rough. So before it gets rough, it's just better if you fucking leave, right? Because you can trust us. We're the good guys. We're the good guys, people. And then what did they do? They never fucking called me. I didn't see Ciera until 19 days after she died. And honest to God, people, from a mortician's perspective, like the lady that helped me with ShaMay, or I'm sorry, with Tisha, she said that Ciera's body wasn't as good, like, as it should have been in terms of she's seen better, right? For me, if I had to compare her, what I seen in terms of Ciera, compared to what was going on at the Surrey Memorial Hospital with ShaMay's body, Ciera looked 100 times better. And she was dead for 19 days. So what does that tell you about the Surrey Memorial Hospital, people? Point is, it took me 19 days in order to identify Ciera's body. And of course we know that our lovely politicians made it so where I can't get an independent autopsy, right? Because they're obviously hiding something, people. This was planned a long fucking time ago. You have to ask yourself, where are all these organs going out of these bodies as they're coming in? Whether they're coming in dead or whether they're coming in alive. Because as it is right now, we can't trust the majority of our public union sector. We can't, because they're just on power mongering and gaining wealth for themselves. Whether it's for a union, in terms of a union with their wealth, or whether it's those individuals like an Eleanor Gilding. And they don't care who they hurt. And they're going after innocent fucking people sitting in their fucking backyard. Okay? So what's going to happen here is after we bury, what do you call it? Ciera, Tisha asked me if we could, sit around the fire pit and have a meal or something, right? And I said yes. So what? I'm going to have the cops come to my house because I've got people in the backyard sitting around the fucking fire pit, right, for Ciera? When they didn't even let me fucking see her? Right? It's screwed up. The world is screwed up. My son said to me when he took me shopping that, he was... Because I'm telling him, like, people are way too fucking paranoid here. Like, this is not healthy for society, right? We already have problem with racism and bigotry and prejudices. We have that problem already, people. Why the government wants to make it fucking worse, I don't know. Because that's what they're breeding, okay? We already have a problem with classism. Why the fucking government wants to make it fucking worse and then sit up there and say, oh, be kind to your neighbor, when they damn well know there's nothing kind about the world anymore, right? I don't know. Okay? But And anyway, he was out and about doing something, and I guess this elderly person came kind of close to him, right? Because he worries about me, right? And he got, oh, and I'm like, well, why did you do that? You know, he's just an old person, like, don't be afraid. But Mom, he's old and maybe he had the coronavirus and I don't want to bring it home to you. Because he goes out and works, right? He does shopping, whatever, right? Okay, so if it comes to me, it will come to my house. Not so much me going out versus people like Tisha coming, right? You know, like she went today to go get my eye drops, so she was in Safeway, up by the pharmacy. You know, I mean, it could be on the pharmacy bag for all I know. Right? Where's it coming from, people? Right? And I told him, like, don't be that way. If it would have been me, people, I would have gave that man a hug. Seriously, I would have gave that man a hug because you have to think about it. These are elderly people, old people, whatever, like, 50, 40, 60s. Well, we'll say 50 and on, right? So if the guy was a little older, maybe 65, the last thing he wants to be is targeted out in fucking public for being old who might be sick. Someone like that, you want to give a hug and you want to help them. Okay? Even if it's just to let them know that they're okay and that you don't see them as a fucking disease or a contagion just because, right, your government basically says so. It's really stupid. The world is like, fuck, people need to file lawsuits against these fucking power mongers. Like, seriously. They're not protecting anything but their fucking pocketbooks, okay? Their better self-interest. They're making it so that they can just come in, do what the fuck they want, like they did with Ciera's body, right? Run off with the fucking cash, run off with the fucking body, right? Take out the things that they want, like the organs and the teeth, and, and fucking put it into your fucking food chain when you're not fucking looking so that they can make a fucking profit. Right? They'll keep the fast food chains open so that you can get your meat there. Sci-fi movie. What is it? Solace Green. Right? They'll keep the fast food chains, no names mentioned, open so you can go grab your hamburger, chicken burger, fish burger, whatever the fuck burger you want to buy. But they'll make sure that you can't get it so much in the grocery store. And because you've been conditioned to eat that, you're going to want it. But does anyone really fucking know what goes into these products? No, they don't, people. Right? Just because somebody tells you something doesn't mean it's true. Right? Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay? Because that's what these people are doing. They're fucking with the food chain. Okay? They're literally bankrupting people and then saying, oh, but don't worry. We've got this stimulus package that you can borrow to get back on your feet. In other words, you can borrow money to restart your business to get back on your feet. Even though you already went into debt to start your business, to lose your business, and now you have to re-borrow to start your business over again as you got fucking drones flying over your business, making sure that you've only got 2 people in your store with everybody standing in line 6 feet apart on the outside. Now, if that's not fucking asinine and mentally fucking disturbed, I don't know what is. I don't know what's fucking more mentally disturbed than that. Okay. So anyway, I'm really actually not having a very good day today because I miss my family, people. I really do miss my family. I miss ShaMay. I miss Uncle John. I was missing my older son until he called me up a little pie-eyed. And then I told him, don't call me if you're going to be fucking pie-eyed. Because he's talking about, he wants to go to the grave, right? Right? We're not having an open casket. Obviously, I'm missing Ciera. I'm missing the good old days. I'm missing, having a family, right? Versus living in some fucking war-torn country with a bunch of militias, out of control fucking guerrillas that are complete gangster, that's going around using their machetes to chop off people's body parts just to be a fearmonger and a powermonger. Right? That's Canada for me. Okay. For other people, maybe not, because they're the ones running around with the fucking machetes in their hands. So for them, it's great. You know, it's a great hunting ground. It's a great hunting ground. Canada is a great hunting ground. You will not get caught going around hunting people in this fucking country and destroying their families. You won't. Because, again, we've got cowards, right, for lawyers and all those kind of people that are supposed to protect the public. Because they're too busy ching, 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 in their own fucking minds, trying to figure out where the fuck they're going to run to after the shit really hits the fucking fan. So anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm very tired. Typing, doing everything, all that paperwork really burns me out. It's hard on my eyes. You know, I'm having severe panic attacks, right? Because of the city. What's new? That's their agenda. That's how they make you sick. That's how they wear you down, right? But, you know, I have to live with it. What can I do? So I don't know what to expect on Sunday. I'll go outside tomorrow, right? You know, assuming that I don't get real sick, because I'm kind of not feeling very well today. I'm very weak today, kind of, you know, worn out. If you notice, my nose has been kind of running, right? So, you know, whether I'm catching a cold or whether my immune system is down, I don't know. Right? And Ciera, when she came, before she died, she brought food. Remember I told you? Well, this was... Oh, see, I'm feeling nauseated here. That was, ginger that I don't want it to go to waste. So before I let it go to waste, I'm just chopping it up into little pieces and I'm going to dehydrate it because it doesn't take very much energy. But I'm feeling quite nauseated right now. Amari has a mild fever. Well, I wouldn't say fever, but he's mildly warm, right? So, you know, we could be catching a cold. Everybody around us, like Tisha had a cold, Leah May had a cold, right? You know, everybody, those people had a cold, but we never got the cold, so maybe it's our turn to get the cold, so I don't know. Or maybe I'm just worn out. That's probably it. I'm just probably worn out. Honestly, I want to just lay on the couch and get under the blanket and just kind of rest for the full day, but I can't do that, so I thought, okay, well, just at least try this. Right? Because then, you know, you have it. You don't have to worry about it. It's not going to go to waste. Otherwise, it's just going to go to waste. And I'm not in the mood to be wasting food right now because, honestly, we don't know what's going to happen. And let me tell you something. Now that they've done this, people, and they've gotten away with it, and nobody's fucking challenged them with it in terms of taking them to court, well, that's not true. There are people that are in the States that are now starting to take some cities and governors to court over this shit, right? I don't know what states they are, but I did come across that. But now that they basically got away with this shit and they're fucking addicted to the power, right? They're going to do it again. It's just a matter of time. And the next time, it's going to be worse. And because there's no fact checks in there in terms of independent autopsies, all this other shit, you're not getting the whole truth. Just think of Auntie Joan. That doctor said, you'll be dead in 1 year from now. She went in December of 2012, and she was dead by December of 2013. And just as fast as she was dead, they cleared out her room, and they moved somebody else in. And then we know the story from there, right? That's what's happening all across the fucking continent. Just as fast as these old people may know, they won't bring them in just yet. They have to wait until everything dies down. And then they'll start targeting them in their houses. right? And then they'll just fill up the fucking old folks' homes, and then they'll fucking start the process all over again, because we're talking billions and billions and billions of dollars that are being sowed here at the expense of half-baked fucking lies that, you know, you can't even fact check, right? Because your local politicians and governments have made it so that, you know, through their legislation, you don't get access to shit. That's what people have to start challenging. And if they find out that organs are being taken out of these bodies as they're dying en masse, they need to figure out where the fuck they're going. Because it's a cheap protein source, people. Okay? Only so many people are going to put fucking organs in a jar and put them on their counter to look at every day as art. There's only so many people that are going to do shit like that. Okay? You know what I'm saying? The rest of it is surplus fucking protein. Yeah. Especially when the food, your natural food sources are disappearing based on psychological warfare by people who powermonger. That's how I feel. Right? I'm entitled to my opinion. And of course, they're just trying to help you. So that's what makes it right. You know? Let me help you. I'm trying to protect the public. No, if you were trying to protect the public, you would have helped the homeless people a long fucking time ago. Okay? Right? If they were trying to help the public, protect the public, they would have helped the Sierras, a long time ago. And they didn't. They've got like 50, 60,000 people sitting up in the Las Vegas area in fucking California or wherever the hell that is. And they're all fucking homeless out in the streets. With their now drones running around saying social distance between standing on the curb with no place to go. See how asinine that is? Right? As they're clearing out the old folks' homes. And denying people the right to even say goodbye. Because they're trying to protect the public. Stupid. But yeah, no, people need to ask where it's coming from. It's coming from the fucking sky. That's where it's coming from. Okay? It's not coming from people. It's coming from their fucking chemtrails. That's where it's coming from. It's a biological weapon that was created to cull the population so that they can gather mass wealth as they do it. And quite possibly a fucking secondary protein source that they can mix into the food chain without us fucking realizing what the hell is going on. So I'd be very careful what you buy when you buy it. Because that's how sick society is. And when in doubt, think of ShaMay. There's your sickness. And ShaMay was just the tip of the iceberg. Uncle John represents the money. He was just the tip of the iceberg of how much money is being reaped and sowed through this process. ShaMay is just the tip of the iceberg to document how these organs are being hijacked out of innocent bodies that were murdered specifically for that reason. And if they weren't murdered for that reason, that was the end result of the murder while the cops covered up the fucking murder. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not feeling very well today. You can see I'm moving very slow. Right? I'm feeling guilty as all hell. I'm scared for fucking Sunday. I mean, obviously I don't want to admit that I'm scared because it gives people power, right? Oh, she's scared. Well, great. We feel powerful now. You know, just because I'm, being gang stalked, people. right? The city's not my fucking friend. They haven't been my friend for never, never. Surrey is a very hard place to fucking live in. It's a very corrupt city. And the more and more fucking people that move into this city from all these different fucking countries, you know, with backwards thinking, the worse it gets. To the point where it becomes a hunting ground. Come to Surrey and be hunted. You are either the hunted or you will do the hunting. Right? Pretty much. And when I show you, when I get time to go into that video, there's some things I'm going to show you that show you how the neighbors or somebody else that's looking could quite possibly be involved as well. Like that little house where Ciera died, honestly, people, I don't think it was just simply a little house. I really don't. I don't think that what John is saying in terms of, oh, it's my first time, I love Ciera, I was just trying to help, whatever. I think there's more to the story. I really do. Right? Anyway, so I'll just show you this. And then my son, what he did, I'm moving slow, right? He bought those for himself. They're not the ones that I really like, because these ones came from China, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're bleached. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like I did for myself, because he doesn't, they spoil after a while, right? So versus having them spoil on him, I thought I'd take the time and do that for him. So I'm going to do that because it's easy and it's productive. The sauerkraut is doing good, still in its jar. So I'm going to leave that yet for a few more days. I'm just trying to do easy stuff right now because tomorrow's going to be the hard day. Saturday and Sunday, I'll be a bag of nerves until the city leaves. Right? It's loose harvesting. They're harvesting people's fucking fear. They're going out of their way to make you fearful. They're going out of their way to fucking make you paranoid. Right? They're going out of their way to make sure that your loved ones are dying. Right? For the ones that are being hunted. Like the purge. Things, there's a time for coincidence and then there's a time for not coincidence. So now I'm like, well, who's next? I've said it before, and that's all I've been thinking about all day today is who's fucking next. Now that Ciera's dead, right? Uncle John's gone, dead. ShaMay's dead. Amari's injured. You can say Andre's been injured, right? My adult kids emotionally have been injured. But in terms of death, who's next? I'm wondering who the fuck is going to be next. Okay. In this great grand fucking province that's called British Columbia, Canada, with Gordon Campbell and his rhetoric with his 5 great goals. Right? He got elected with 5 fucking great goals, and all he did was bring in a fucking cartel to cause nothing but fucking heartache for hundreds of thousands of people. And an economy that is completely corrupt. Right? And now we've got that playbook that's making everybody turn into fucking lunatics. So there you go. Now, I think Tisha is supposed to have sent me that little video. So if I have it, I'll put that first to show you that that's done. Now, we're not out of the woods yet, people. There's a long way to go. I am not a lawyer. I'm not very good with the court forms. They know it. Right? They will tell me to amend it. Honest to God, I won't know how to amend it. So if I send it back in as is, this is what will happen. I'll send it back in as is. Because personally, it doesn't need to be amended. Right? In terms of, I can't amend it. So, if I tell the judge I can't amend it, then they're just going to throw it out. That's what's going to happen. If I try to amend it, it won't matter because it won't measure up to their standards, right? Because it's already been determined that it's not going to go to trial, right? And that's why I put in that petition. So that they'll at least open up a fucking investigation. A real one. Not some fabricated fucking storybook line with the cops fucking, you know, playing twiddly twinks on the side with their little computers as they're plotting their next attack. Like what they're doing now with their drones in the States. So, even though it's signed, doesn't mean that the pressure isn't there, because it is. Right? In terms of the notice of claim, it should be filed. They should file it. I don't know why they wouldn't file it. But once it gets in front of a judge, he'll give me that one freebie to amend it. I won't know how to amend it. I don't want to amend it. I shouldn't have to amend it. They should just get on with fucking doing their damn job, right? And seeking the truth for the better interest of the public. And if they don't do that, then we know that they condone illegal organ harvesting and any kind of organ harvesting, for that matter, at the expense of continuing to allow their fucking government drug, fentanyl, to ravage our streets, to infiltrate our homes, right? As they're psychologically terrorizing us with distant order, you know, those things, those social distancing shit, so that we don't come together and talk and figure it out. As they lull you with, well, just be nice to each other. Be kind. When they damn well know there is nothing kind about what the fuck is going on in British Columbia, Canada, or anywhere else for that matter. When it comes to the illegal activity that is being funneled through government employees.